Welcome to the Vibrant Life podcast, where you unleash your freedom and ignite your passion. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome back to the Stay Vibrant podcast. I'm Melanie Kiss, and today we're diving into something that, let's be honest, all of us wrestle with: time. Specifically, that feeling that there's never enough of it. Time scarcity, a feeling that can easily overwhelm us, limit our productivity, and add a constant layer of stress to our lives. In the next 20 minutes or so, we'll explore where this perception comes from and why it impacts us so much, and how we could start shifting our mindset towards feeling like we actually do have enough time. All right, let's get started. So let's start by acknowledging the root of this feeling. If you're like most people, you might feel like your to-do list just keeps growing and the days are never long enough to check everything off. Often, this is worsened by a fast-paced world where there's constant pressure to do more faster. But why do we feel like this? Part of it is biological. Our brains evolved to seek efficiency, which means focusing on what's urgent and pushing us to act quickly. But in today's world, this can mean constantly rushing, living with a sense of time famine, where we're always wishing for more time, even as we're using what we have. So the big question to ask ourselves is, what do I gain from doing more? And is there anything positive by doing more? So here's an example. You're a solopreneur, boss babe, entrepreneur at home, and you're maybe working full-time or part-time as well. You've got a lot on your plate. You want to aim for success as fast as you can in your business. And so you end up signing up for all these courses to put all of your business together, from social media to emails to maybe your own podcast to a website. I mean, you're a businesswoman. There is a lot to do. However, you also work, like I said, maybe full time. Maybe you have family obligations. And we all have 24 hours in a day. So you end up not finishing all the courses that you signed up for. And you're not advancing as quickly as you would like to in your business either. You start to feel like stressed and overwhelmed. And you feel maybe that you just need a different system to move your business forward. But you also know that deep down inside, you don't have time to add more. And that feeling of overwhelm just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's also another great example is FOMO, the fear of missing out. So you see these courses maybe online or the latest thing that you need to get and you want to get it. So it's a great time to ask yourself, what am I gaining from adding more to my schedule? And if it's not necessarily positive, it might not be something to add to your schedule. So here's the thing. Time scarcity is a perception. Studies show that feeling time poor can make us less productive. When we start feeling like there's enough time, we experience less stress and more satisfaction. So how can we shift this? One effective way is through mindfulness. When we focus on the present moment, we tend to feel less rushed. Think about those rare moments when you're fully immersed in something you love. Time seems to expand. And another strategy is redefining priorities. Take a moment to identify what really matters to you. If you find yourself overcommitting to tasks that don't align with your values, maybe it's time to reconsider what's essential. This lets you create space for things that genuinely fulfill you. So here's another example, and this one is personal, but I do more now than I did 8 years ago. And I spoke a bit about it in my first episode with my personal story. However, through the power of healing and practicing the present moment and honoring my values, I never feel like I'm out of time, tired, or overwhelmed anymore. I mean, I started even this podcast. I added more to my plate, yet I don't feel that sense of lack of time. So when you're in that present moment, you're so focused on the task at hand that your brain isn't thinking about the next thing, which reduces stress. This will bring you to finish courses or steps to help you move forward with your business. So let's get into the brain, the science for a moment. Neuroscience tells us that the brain perceives time based on novelty and engagement. So when we're fully engaged, time feels more expansive. But when we're multitasking or stressed, time feels like it's slipping away. For example, if we're always moving from one task to another, if our day is packed with repetitive, unfulfilling activities, our brain codes these experiences as faster. On the other hand, a day filled with new experiences or enjoyable tasks tends to slow down in our minds. Quite interesting. Now, let's get practical. Here are some effective ways to start feeling like you have more time. So grab a piece of paper and a pen or write it down in your notes on your phone. But here are 5 tips that will help you. So number 1, time blocking. Instead of a mile-long to-do list, try time blocking. Dedicate specific times of the day for focused work, breaks, and even moments of relaxation. This structure can actually create more breathing room. And if you're someone like me who has a non-routine, who's never lived a routine life, time blocking for me at first seemed like restrictive. But I realized time blocking is actually unrestrictive. It helps me to have more time for myself to focus on maybe things that are not about my business, but more hobbies. So take that time to create blocks in your day. Number 2, limit multitasking. I mean, I am guilty. I used to multitask and I still have a tendency sometimes to try to multitask, but really focus on one task at a time and resist the urge to switch back and forth. So studies show that this not only improves productivity, but also reduces time pressure. Who here is guilty of multitasking? I think we're going to have a few people who are going to say yes. Number 3, prioritize joy and connection. Build moments of joy, connection, or rest into your day. Not once in a while, but every day. These moments are crucial for a sense of time abundance. And I know a few people have a hard time with just being and stopping. And when I mean stopping, I don't mean going from your computer to in front of the TV. I mean being able to really focus on the present moment. Going for a walk, even if it's for 10 to 15 minutes, this will help improve your productivity and your creativity for your work. So take those moments to create that time in your day that brings you joy and connection. Number 4, say no to non-essential tasks. Sometimes less really is more. Simplify by saying no to things that don't align with your bigger goals. Every no is actually a yes to something else. Let me say that again. Every no is actually a yes to something else. Try to see no as something positive and don't necessarily associate it with something that's negative. And if you're able to do that, it will be much easier for you to be able to say no to things. And if you're unable to say no to things, I invite you to go listen to episode number 2, where I dive a little deeper into why people may have a hard time saying no. All right. And number 5, reflect on your day. Take a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect. What felt fulfilling? Where did time seem to go by quickly? This awareness helps you plan for more meaningful days ahead. So do it the way that works for you. I've met tons of people that love journaling, so take the time to journal. If you're not one to journal, then pick up your phone, go into your notes, write out your thoughts. And if it just means to sit quietly and think about your day, and that's the way you like to reflect, then so be it. Find what works for you. But take the time to think about what was fulfilling in your day. All right, so our relationship with time ultimately shapes how we experience our lives. When we shift our perception of time from scarcity to abundance, we're not just more productive, we're more at peace. Instead of living in a state of not enough, we could start living in alignment with our true priorities. If there's one takeaway I hope you get from today, it's that time isn't our enemy. It's a resource that becomes richer and more meaningful when we choose to use it wisely. So I thank you so much for tuning in today. If today's conversation about time resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know this is a huge topic for many. So feel free to write in the comments or to email me or to DM me on my social media platforms. But I really would love your thoughts on this topic and maybe some of your tips and tricks that work for you. So really feel free to reach out and ask questions if you have any questions as well. You could follow me on Instagram at Mindset with Melanie Kiss and all my other social media platforms such as Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook. It's Melanie Kiss, where I share more tips on living a balanced, fulfilled life. And if you found this episode helpful, consider sharing with a friend who might need a fresh perspective on time. I know there are many of us solopreneurs out there that want to be able to create that dream life, but feel that we have a lack of time to create that dream life. But it is possible. Remember, we have the power to change our relationship with time, and it all starts with a shift in mindset. Until next time, make the most of your moments and stay vibrant.